Today, the Supreme Court heard arguments on Mississippi's 15-week ban on abortion. The conservative majority indicated that they will uphold the law and might even go further to try to overturn the right to abortion.
Let's go back to Tia, who's getting a closer look at this issue.
Well, abortions have been legal in the United States since the Roe versus Wade opinion in 1973. And ever since then, lawmakers in various states have tried to modify or limit that right. And now it looks like Mississippi's 15-week ban on abortion might be upheld by the court. I'm joined by Stephen Maynard Caliendo, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at North Central College and a professor of political science. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Tia. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the longer term ramifications behind this. We know that this is coming out of Mississippi, but what will it do overall to Roe v. Wade?
Well, right. It's a test case out of Mississippi. And of course, if the court, we can take some indications about the questioning. We're not going to know for a few months exactly how the decision falls. But if indeed the ban is upheld, it will mean that there is no protection for women's reproductive health, specifically as defined under Roe v. Wade for the last 50 years. And it would mean that states then are eligible to decide if they want to have similar bills that Mississippi had. So if this bill stands, other states can follow suit. They don't have to. It doesn't mean that abortion is illegal, and it doesn't mean that even abortion after the 15th week is illegal. It just means that states can make it illegal if they wish to, and many will.
There's a lot of protest around this on both sides. There have been other cases, though, since Roe versus Wade. Is this one a stronger case to actually overturn it?
Yes, and intentionally so. Certainly the lawmakers, as they were passing the law in Mississippi, were clear on the floor of the legislature that they were doing this because they saw a change in the composition of the U.S. Supreme Court and the members of the U.S. Supreme Court, particularly the last 3 justices, which were appointed by President Trump. And they thought it was a good opportunity for the court to have a chance to decide whether or not Roe was appropriately decided 50 years ago. So, yeah, this is certainly very different than some of the other cases that came in the last 50 years.
Well, let's talk about the precedent that Justice Sonia Sotomayor talked about as it pertains to Roe versus Wade. What did she say as it pertains to this case?
Well, it was more than the precedent, Tia, and I think as a political scientist, this is the part of the case today that was most interesting to me, because she was asking about not only the case at hand, but the long-term legitimacy of the Supreme Court. I think you and I have talked about this in the past. The court cannot enforce its own decisions. It doesn't have access to money. It doesn't have access to resources in terms of the military or armed forces. It relies on other entities complying with its decisions and people having support for the court. And Sotomayor argued today, if we start going down this very political route, because it's clear that this case was made because the new justice is there, what's it going to do to the long-term legitimacy of the court as a whole, not just about the decision regarding abortion rights? So it's a very interesting question, and it's something that you and I will probably visit about it another time.
Yeah, but it's a good point to bring up, because when you talk about politics and being, divisive in this country, this has a lot to do with it, how the justices decide. So I'm sure we'll be talking more about this. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Sally and Anthony, I'll send it back to you.